Dear students, I welcome you all in Rayat Online School Education, that is Rose Project 2021-22. I am Mrs. Patil Yasadi from Sadguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad, subject English. Students, let us see review of our previous lecture. Our poem number 2.5, Nose versus Eyes. In our previous lecture, we have seen icebreakers, know the poet, about the title, about the poem, stanza analysis. Today we are going to see part 2 of our unit number 2.5, Nose versus Eyes. Today we are going to see figures of speech and appreciation of the poem Nose versus Eyes. Figures of speech. First figure of speech is alliteration. Alliteration means the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. The examples are: the spectacle set them unhappily wrong. Explanation: the sound of the letter yes has been repeated for poetic effect. Next example: that the nose has had spectacles always in wear. Explanation: the sound of the letter H has been repeated for poetic effect. Next figure of speech is repetition. Repetition refers to the use of the same word or phrase for multiple times and is a fundamental poetic technique. The example is: who would or who could wear spectacles then? Explanation: the word who has been repeated in the line to emphasize his argument. Next figure of speech is simile. Simile is common poetic device in which the subject of the poem is described by comparing it to another object or subject using as or like. The examples are: they are made with a straddle as wide as the ridge of the nose. Explanation: there is a direct comparison between the straddle of the spectacles and the ridge of the nose through the use of words as wide as. Next example is designed to sit close to it just like a saddle. Explanation: there is a direct comparison between the close-fitting design of the spectacles and that of a ridge of a horse through the use of word like. Next figure of speech is personification. Personification is a poetic device where animals, plants, or even inanimate objects are given human qualities. The examples are: so, tongue was the lawyer and argued the cause. Explanation: the tongue has been given the animate quality of arguing. Next example: while Chip Baron Ear sat to balance the laws. Explanation: the ear has been personified as a powerful person. Here, one who balances the laws means a judge, and hence the ear has also been personified as the judge. Next figure of speech is antithesis. Antithesis is a figure of speech which refers to the fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. The example is: by daylight or candlelight, eyes should be shut. Explanation: two opposite ideas, daylight and candlelight, have been used in the same line. Next figure of speech is tautology. Tautology is an expression or phrase that says the same thing twice, just in a different way. The examples are: on the whole it appears and my argument shows. Explanation: the words appears and shows have the same meaning and are used to make the lawyer's argument more convincing. Next example is: so his lordship decreed with a grave solemn tone. Explanation: the words grave and solemn have the same meaning and are used to emphasize the serious expression of the ear as the verdict was delivered. Next figure of speech is inversion. A literary technique in which the normal order of words is reversed in order to achieve a particular effect of emphasis or meter is nothing but inversion. The examples are: between nose and eyes, a strange contest arose. Explanation: the words in the line have been rearranged for poetic effect. The correct order should be: a strange contest arose between nose and eyes. Next example: while Chip Baron Ear sat to balance the laws, so famed for his talent in nicely discerning. Explanation: the words in the line have been rearranged for poetic effect. The correct order should be: while Chip Baron Ear, famed for his talent in nicely discerning, sat to balance the laws. Next figure of speech is imagery. Imagery can be defined as a writer or speaker's use of words or figures of speech to create vivid mental picture or physical sensation. The examples are: so Tongue was the lawyer and argued the cause. Explanation: the above line creates a vivid image of the tongue as a lawyer arguing his case in court and adds to the humorous effect. Next example is: while Chip Baron Ear sat to balance the laws. Explanation: the above line creates a vivid image of the ear taking his place as the judge in court and adds to the humorous effect. Let us see appreciation of the poem Nose versus Eyes. In your activity sheet, there will be one question for 4 marks based on the appreciation of the poem. Question will be like this: read the extract and write the appreciation of the given extract based on the following aspects. Poem of 10 to 15 lines will be provided. Instructions will be like this. You may use the following points for writing the appreciation in about 100 to 150 words. First point, about the poem, poet and title. Next, theme. Next is poetic style, language features, poetic devices used in the poem. Next is special features. Next point is message, values, morals in the poem. Next point is your opinion about the poem. Let us see first point, about the poem, poet and the title. The poem Nose versus Eyes by William Cowper is a satirical take on the judiciary system. William Cowper, the English poet, well known for composing hymns, deviated from his usual topic and presented Nose versus Eyes, an interesting and uncommon subject on a courtroom drama of a dispute between the nose and the eyes about the ownership of the spectacles. The title makes no bones about the disagreement between the nose and the eyes by using the word versus and directly involves the readers in the context of the poem. The poet refers to the contest as strange but makes it sound very obvious about the position of the spectacles. Next point is theme of the poem. The poem Nose versus Eyes by William Cowper is a satirical take on the judiciary. The theme dwells on the proceedings of a court where judgment is passed without careful consideration. This poem is humorous in nature. The characters assigned to each one of them are perfectly fitting and add to the humorous nature of the poem. Next point, poetic style, language, poetic devices used in the poem. The rhyme scheme of the poem is AB and provides a song-like flow to the poem. The notable features of the poem are the use of imagery, simile, personification and inversion. While inversion has been used maintain the rhyme scheme and add to poetic effect. Imagery helps to paint vivid picture of the cold setting in the minds of the readers. The highlight of the poem is the personification of the eyes, nose and tongue. Next point is special features. The poem is a satire on the judicial system and the poet made his comments very obvious by using expressions like a week full of learning. For creating humor, the poet has used the language and the background of a courtroom, which also has made the poem an interesting read. The ear and the tongue are both given roles that perfectly fit their functions as sensory organs. Next point is message / values / morals in the poem. All the imaginary characters point out to the moral values needed for the judiciary. Though the poem is a mockery of the legal system, the message is to highlight the general pitfalls of selective hearing and warn the reader to exercise good judgment. The poem also reveals the failure of the legal system in delivering justice. Last point is your opinion about the poem. The first reaction of the reader will be having a good laugh while reading the poem, but the deeper meaning of the need for morality in the judicial system definitely makes the poem thought-provoking. Overall, the poem is apparently funny, but upon a closer look, the depth of the poem is revealed. Like an allegory, where a story or poem is used to reveal a hidden meaning, this poem also can be interpreted to have a moral. Let us see marking scheme for appreciation of the poem. 2 marks are for appropriateness of theme and language features. 1 mark is for explanation and presentation. 1 mark is for personal opinion and evaluation of the poem. There are totally 4 marks for the appreciation of the poem. Thus, today we have studied figures of speech in the poem, nose versus eyes, and appreciation of the poem, nose versus eyes. Thank you.